So it was crazy. So I started my first band when I was 12 years old. And we would practice on the phone. I just call up my buddy, he's like, all right, let's run that one again. And it was just like listening on the phone, and he was playing a song on guitar, or I was playing on guitar, and then we eventually got to the point where he got an amp loud enough to jam, and then we started our own band when we were really young in middle school. And that kind of continued through high school for me. And then another band in Miami found out about me, and they really needed a drummer. So at that point I was like, all right, well, I mean, I like your guys' sound, I like what you're doing, I think we've got something here. If you want to, and if this is gonna happen, it has to happen tonight, because I'm going up to college tomorrow. So I drove down, and then we just jammed, and it clicked, and then next thing you know, we ended up getting signed to Interscope Records, and that was Black Tide. We changed our name to Black Tide, like, I think like 6 months after I joined the band. I actually joined in 2006. So it was a really wild ride. Some of the most interesting years of my life. It's definitely not all the glamour that it sounds like when you get signed to a major record label. I remember I got signed to Interscope. I was like, we did it, we made it. But then like it comes down to it, it's a lot of work. You know, we put out 2 full-length albums. We got to tour the world, playing over I think like 25 countries or something like that as a teenager with my best friends at the time. So it was a wild ride, but I definitely don't regret anything. It's not what I'm doing now, but it's definitely made me the performer and helped shape me to become the artist that I am. It was just an idea that I had. I was like, how can I test myself? How can I push myself to the limit? What can I push my brain to do? And then I was like, what if I did this? And then all of a sudden I set up my rehearsal room, which was my bedroom at the time, and had the drum set here, and then put the piano, the keyboard on my left side. And I was like, well, what if I replace my right hand with my left foot, and then it just freed up, I could play the complete drum part, and it just freed up this hand to do whatever it wanted. And then I was like, well, what if I just train myself to play this piano part with the left hand? And then it ended up working. So I was like, let's do this live and have some fun with it. So it worked out. And it was definitely like a fun, showy thing live. People were like, wait a minute, wait a minute, he's doing both. It was definitely fun. Absolutely, there was definitely a lot of fan love after the shows, because it was our last song that we would play usually in the set. It was like a finale. And I remember one time, I think I was in Scotland, we played a show there, and it was the last song. After the piano part, I just got up and smashed the keys on the floor, just destroyed it, because, you know, when you're traveling out there in Europe or whatever, I wouldn't necessarily bring a piano from home. I'd just get something out there. So it was our last show, and I'm like, I'm going home anyway, let me just destroy this. So I did that, and it was cool. All about the show. Well, my mom always taught me to be pretty humble, so I've never called myself a rock star, even though it felt really, really good to play my own song on Rock Band and Guitar Hero. It was really cool, despite me failing every time. Just failing my own song on drums on a video game. It's really cool. But yeah, I would never consider myself a rock star. I've always considered myself the same, you know, down-to-earth dude that just likes making music and having fun. Yeah, actually, I did end up winning the Warped Tour drum off. I was very nervous, and it's something that doesn't really happen to me. I never really get nervous before shows. Even now as a DJ performing to, you know, the crowds that I've done, I don't get nervous, and I think that's a product of proper preparation. You know, if I'm prepared, if I know what I'm doing, if I'm confident on what's gonna go down, then I'm not really nervous. It's more about fun. And for the drum off though, it was definitely nerve-wracking, because I've never done that before. I've never entered a competition where it's like, all right, who's a better drummer, or who can put on a, you know, a better show right now. And it was a nerve-wracking thing, but fortunately it worked out for me. it definitely pushed me. That's at a time where I was all about drums, and I loved it so much. I definitely still love drumming, but as my career has shifted, so has my focus, and it's less on becoming, you know, a crazy drummer, and more as like an all-around performer, an all-around artist, and all-around, you know, and that comes with songwriting and other things. So drumming was a big part of my life and still is, but it's not everything now. It was, you know, my departure from the band, my departure from the band was like a thing that was brewing for a little while, but in 2012 it really hit me. Like I never really felt fulfilled. I was in the band and I was drumming and I was doing my thing, and despite being one of the songwriters in the band, I never felt like, all right, this is me, you know. I was handling a lot on the road with the guys, and I was, you know, also writing some of the songs, and I was out and I was busting my ass performing and setting up and doing so much. I realized, I was like, you know what, I need to be doing this for myself. And creatively we were kind of, you know, all over the place, and I wanted to be focused and I wanted to do my own thing, and I feel like an important part of becoming successful is knowing when to move on. So that's when that kind of hit me, you know, so I realized I needed to do something else.